welcome back to CBS Soap Dish Recap, where we recap everything CBS soaps, both the young and the restless, and the bold and the beautiful. And this is your bold and the beautiful recap for August 15th, 2022. And this episode, we see a custody battle beginning between the Forresters and the Logans. And then we also see look like a budding possible romance on the horizon for Lee and maybe Bill Spencer. So we'll have to see, but we're going to talk about it. So before we do, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to this channel and don't forget to like and share. So we are first starting out over at Forrester Creations. They are still reeling about this whole thing with Sheila Carter and her death. Allegedly, and you know what I mean by allegedly, but her death allegedly, so much so that Ridge is showing off his new screensaver, which is the middle toe of Sheila Carter. Really, Ridge? Is it that serious? Anywho, so now it moves over to the conversation of both Steffy trying to encourage her mom and her dad that them being together is the best place to be. She wants them reunited, and Steffy wants Ridge to ditch Brooke, reunite with her mom. But we do see Taylor kind of, hate it when she, at first I was like, are you going to say something? Are you going to say something? Well, in this episode, she actually got to stand up for herself and kind of put a stop to so much pressure. However, Steffy stands by her belief that Ridge and Taylor belongs together. Life is too short. Everything had taught her with what went on with Finn that she shouldn't waste time. So then the tough conversation happens when it comes to Thomas's desire to have Douglas move in with him for good. Now, of course, Taylor and Steffy think this is a long time coming since Thomas is more than capable of being around-the-clock dad. Now, we do hear Thomas acknowledging his history of problems and express a lot of gratitude over the way Hope stepped up. Now, although Thomas is very wary of upsetting Hope, Steffy basically act like Thomas has to put his own role as a father above anyone or anything else. Now, Taylor and Steffy do agree that it'll be great for Douglas to live at the Forrester mansion with Thomas. Now that Thomas is stable, headed for a bright future, both Steffy and Taylor won't see why he shouldn't take the lead on parenting. And it's just interesting because Ridge was really quiet. And, he kind of threw some things in there like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you going to be capable? And I'm like, whose side are you on? But obviously, he don't want to ruffle any feathers when it comes to Brooke. So, these two are tiptoeing on on eggshells, and it's just crazy. But at this point, it looks like this custody battle is going to begin because we're hearing the Forrester side at this point and look like he's going to make that move. But there's another side we need to hear from as well, which we'll talk about later. But I'm hoping that Ridge can actually see where his son is coming from, especially since Douglas wants to be with his dad. Now, let's move over to this little situation. Speaking of tricky circumstances, Lee is reflecting with Bill in regards to everything that's happened. She appreciates how he stepped up to help her. And, she sees him as, somebody that she can admire. He sees her as somebody that he can admire. And, these two are just going on back and forth. Bill is like, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm there. So, speaking of conversation, Bill listens in this particular episode intently, and he offers support as Lee started to open up about her past. Now, as we know, Jack had an affair with Sheila Carter and passed Finn on as a random child for Lee to adopt. And so, of course, his secrets blew up, meaning Jack perhaps being, beyond repair as far as Lee is concerned. It was interesting because while she's reflecting on this whole fractured marriage, Bill was wondering, where was he? I know he's missing you. Your husband, Jack, where is he? And she was like, we're not together anymore. And he was like, I'm sorry to hear that. And she's like, I'm not sorry to hear about it at all. So she's pretty much over Jack, and especially the way this whole thing happened when it comes to Fan. The crazy thing is that I'm wondering how they're going to build the chemistry with these two. Now, I mean, so far you can tell that's the direction that they're going. I just don't see the chemistry between the two of them. Maybe you do. Maybe you guys that are listening obviously do, but I don't. Now, we're at El Giardino, where we see Hope, Brooke, and of course Liam and Deacon, where they're talking about Sheila's death. And again, she's now showing the whole severed toe to everybody. That whole thing is crazy. Can we be done with the severed toe already? Anywho, they talk about everything when it comes to the fact that Sheila is out of their lives and how, the damage that she caused. They were worried about, well, Hope was saying, I know it's got to be hard for you, Deacon, because you were friends with her. And, he admitted that, she didn't get an opportunity to be that better person that she wanted to be. Well, the conversation shifted with this whole thing with Thomas and Douglas. So the conversation shifted because Deacon was like, you need to tell your mom. Come on, talk to your mom. And so when, Liam and Deacon broke the news to Brooke about the fact that Thomas is interested in trying to, move Douglas out of her house into the Forrester mansion, she was not having it. And I was wondering where she's going to go with this, because she liked to throw stones at people. And she was like, oh, no, I don't think he's ready. I mean, where's he going to stay? He's staying at the Forrester mansion. Eric is probably going to let him move in so he can have a place. So she couldn't even throw stones at that, because what can't you not get at the Forrester mansion, right? But Hope is, of course, in crisis mode. And what am I supposed to do? And, of course, everybody at that table is supporting her. Now, Liam, I don't know. He seems like he's kind of in the middle of the road with this whole thing. And as much as he's not saying much, Brooke is saying enough for everybody at the table between her and Deacon, because they're like, no, he can't just take your son. And they're like, but that is his biological son as well. So, this thing is about to get really ugly. I honestly believe that, maybe they can 50-50 the time, something like that. Because obviously you can tell Douglas really wants to continue building a bond with his father. And we all know, according to the way the script was written, it was all about a tumor in Thomas's brain. Once it was removed, he was back to normal. So, at this point, it's been probably like 3 years now. And so, yeah, I honestly think he does need to get that time with his son. But I don't know about the complete uprooting, but let me know your thoughts. All right, so there you have it, your bold and the beautiful recap for Monday, August 15th, 2022. If you haven't checked out the Young and the Restless recap, it has already been updated and posted to this channel. So until the next video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Bye.